Over the past 30 years, over 4 million Murray cod have been stocked into Lake Eildon, culminating in 800,000 last year. And what's fascinating about that is that some of those original 1990 fish could still actually be swimming in the lake. And the reason for that is that Murray cod live to over 40 years and can grow to a massive 1.5 metres in length. So the science behind the fishery can be just as exciting as the fishery itself. Corey Green from Victorian Fisheries has been given the job to do an acoustic survey of Murray cod in Lake Eildon, so we can maybe determine just maybe where these cod go, what they do, perhaps how many are in here.
That's
but
it.
Mainly just to see what they're doing and where they're going. So tell us a little bit about this project that you're embarking on.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. No, it's about a 1.5 year project, and we've got 20 acoustic tags. I've got the acoustic tag here.
Oh, right.
And that measures temperature and depth and even acceleration of a cod.
Okay.
And we have listening stations all the way up the river from here at the boat ramp at Jamison, all beyond in the upper Goulburn River. So in the next year and a half, as soon as one of these cod swims past the listening stations, it downloads the information and we get all this fascinating data.
Yeah, okay. And how many cod are you going to implant these
We've got
acoustic
20 tags going.
20 tags? And
Yeah.
I'm tipping they're going to be fairly inexpensive tags.
They're a little bit more than your normal tag.
Okay. Yeah.
But the amount of information that we get out of them is going to be phenomenal.
Cool.
And now it's time to suture it up. Of course, I anaesthetise the fish. We don't do surgery without doing that. We've all gone through the appropriate ethics approvals to do such surgery.
And the project involves anglers in as much as you're using anglers to catch cod in this part of the project.
That's
and
right.
then later on in March, we're going to come back and you're going to do some electrofishing for cod.
That's it. Look,
Yeah.
a lot of the anglers.
Fascinating.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of the anglers, they're custodians of the fishery. They really want to look after their resource as well.
Yeah,
so
right.
that's why we try to engage those experts in the field and to catch the fish for us, so we can put the tag in.
Well, mate, I guess it's one thing to catch the cod, another thing to actually implant the acoustic tag in them, but you've got to monitor just exactly where they go and what they do. And how do you do that? And what's this?
That's right. So that's an acoustic receiver. So what it does is it listens for any fish tag or any fish that swims past. It records all sorts of information like acceleration and depth and temperature, and it will relay that information through into this receiver, and that will hold all the information for us.
Okay, so that's just complete looping the whole plan. So tag the cod.
Yep.
Put these receivers in through the lake where you want to monitor where the fish are travelling.
Up the river.
Yep. And how long will they last?
They'll last about 2 years.
Yeah, right. Okay.
13 months to 2 years, and we'll go every 6 months or so. Bluetooth it up to the computer.
Yeah.
And download the data.
And I dare say they're worth a few dollars. So
Yeah,
if you find one, don't touch.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch Billy.
No, not at all.
Mate.
So we're just doing the range testing for the tags that we're emitting. This is a little range test tag. We'll just deploy that at about 10 metres deep and then use the receivers to listen for it.
Right, so we're just testing the distance at which these receivers will pick up the tags we're putting in the cod. And we'll put a receiver like this every 100 metres away from a tag we've just put in the water upstream. And we'll come back and read these receivers in a day or so's time. And that will give us a bit of an idea about how far away these receivers will pick up the tagged fish.
Well, Corey, I haven't been able to get you any fish, so the boys from Arthur Roller are here with the Electro fishing boat.
Brought out the big guns.
So let's go and see what we can find.
Let's go and do it.
Mind you, if you don't get any, don't blame me.
No worries at all, Bill.
So how these guys electrofish, they're from the Arthur Rylah Institute in Melbourne, and they've got a 7 kVA generator on board, and it generates 1,000 volts and something like about 8 amps. So don't go putting your hand in the water when you're close to them. Now what I'm finding interesting already is that this morning I actually went through this whole section. The boys have done about probably 1 kilometre of shoreline already with the electrofishing and haven't got a fish. And I didn't see a fish on the active target either this morning. So 2 things are now starting to add up. Maybe there are no fish there. Maybe they're actually going to be further up the top end of the lake.
There's a fish. So we're up on the upper Goulburn River. We've got this beautiful cod, about 85 centimetres long, caught by using the electrofisher, and then we've just got this anaesthetic that we put in the water to calm it down so we can do our little operation and insert the tag. So now that the cod's sort of fallen asleep a little bit, we've got one of these acoustic tags that we'll be inserting into the stomach cavity of the cod. Quick surgery and then get it ready for it to release. So that tag's just to identify, and if you catch that fish later on by a recreational fisher, they'll be able to call the phone number and let us know where they've caught it.
So this meadery is definitely the culmination to the afternoon's work, mate. Pretty good? You happy?
Absolutely, it's a big, beautiful fish, isn't it?
Well, I'm happy too, mate, because I actually explored this whole river with the active target, but I stopped 100 metres before where you caught the first one, and then it was just too shallow where they got this big meadery. 71470 749. I guess one of the main points we've found is that some cod choose to stay where they are. That's their home, that's their territory, and that's where they're going to stay probably throughout their life. And they don't move?
And they don't move. We've found cod that do not move, okay? But other cod, we've seen they go vast kilometres, 20 kilometres as far as we know, but they could be utilising the whole lake and then coming back. Yeah. So that's probably the biggest thing. They're individuals.
Sounds to me as though that's a good excuse for a further survey at some stage in the future.
Might have to extend the project.
It also indicates to me just why cod are so frustrating to catch at times.
Yeah, they can be.
They're a bit hard to predict.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, last year we actually tagged 19 fish, which is really successful. We've got 20 tags, tagged 19. So they're actively swimming out there now, doing their thing. And we've also deployed 16 of these receivers all the way in from the Goulburn arm of Lake Eildon, all the way up to the upper Goulburn River. You can see here, we've got the Lake Eildon out here, and we can see the cod that was tagged down near Jamison spent most of its time up near Jamison, but it's also ventured all the way down to that Goulburn arm, almost going back right into the lake proper. We're going to have a massive database where it's us to crunch all that data out to say, hey, these fish are actively feeding at this period of time, or this time of the day, or this particular season. So that information then can get back to the fisher to say, you're going to get more opportunities to catch these fish at a particular time.
Do they move? Are they active on a full moon, or are they active on a new moon?
Well, we haven't got down to that level just yet, but I can say that there was one Murray Cod that was caught from the Arthur Rylah Institute. It was a 113 centimetre cod, big fish. Yeah. And it was caught almost at Jamison there, right near the bridge.
Yeah, okay.
And it's travelled around 10 k's out into the lake. But interestingly, during that winter period, it's the acceleration of it's really slowed down, where they almost become, how we use the term doggo. They're just sitting low and not doing much. Whereas in summer, and you probably appreciate this as well, is that when they're, when you're fishing and targeting cod during summer, there's some active bites going on as well, and we're seeing that in the data as well. So they're a lot more active during that summer period, whether that's chasing more bait around for them or what. It's one of these things that we can unlock.
Are they locating back up the rivers, or are they locating in the lake itself? Yeah,
it's a good question, and I think that's very dependent on the actual fish itself. We're seeing some fish that are staying put, as in they're staying right where we tag them and release them. They're not moving. Some are moving out to the lake, but we've got one fish that was tagged just down from Jamison. It's moved up around 20 k's upstream, all the way to a place called Tunnel Bend. So
that's very interesting.
So it's moved up quite a way.
Is that a big fish?
I think it was about 80 centimetre, that one.
It's a reasonable sized fish.
Yeah.
We filmed 3 fish. One that you caught up the river and brought back to the ramp and released. Have you got any specifics on how those guys are going?
That one is very, very interesting, the one we brought back and released at the ramp, because it's gone back to exactly where we originally caught it.
No, that's interesting. And stayed there.
And stayed there.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this project's going to end in 2023.
Yep.
And we're going to have a massive amount of data that we're going to analyse, and hopefully by the end of that stage we'll be able to answer some of these questions, like, when do they do stuff? How do they do stuff? What do they do stuff? And all this is going to feed back into recreational anglers to try to increase their chances of catching fish.
Mate, interesting. It's probably one of the first and most important surveys that I've seen on Murray Cod that will benefit recreational anglers in Victoria. I can't wait to see the results of all of this data that you're getting.
Yeah, nor can I.